Okay, so we're live, and I'm just going to take a moment to share this to my multiple groups so more people would be able to see this.
That's good. We should be sharing it on our end too.
Yeah. Hold on, and we're just gonna wait for our first attendees to show up. Okay, let's just share this real quick. I'm still sharing, okay?
Yeah, me too. I'm gonna get my assistant to share that thing.
It's on my fan page. So just type in Ellenpro and then you'll be able to see this. And we have our first two attendees. Hey, how are you guys? Where are you guys from? You type in the chat box and let us know.
Ellen, where are you from? Or where are you now?
I'm located in Los Angeles. Where are you from?
I'm in Orlando, Florida right now. It's a beautiful day here.
Oh, nice.
What's
the temperature like?
We just got over that really high spell. So we're back in the 80s. It's cool in the morning. It's really nice. It's my favorite time of year here.
Oh, wow. Okay. Nice. I think in Los Angeles we have like 90 degree or 80 degree. I'm not sure. It's pretty hot.
Yeah, I was just in San Diego.
Okay, I finished sharing and we have 8 attendees. So hi guys, welcome to today's my Facebook live with, I don't remember what's the episode of this, but welcome guys. If you guys have any comments, questions, we'll save it to the end. We'll have a Q&A session. But meanwhile, please let us know where you're from and just type in the comments. Okay, and today I have the honor to invite the CEO of FreeeUp, Nathan, here.
Thanks for having me, everyone. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, so he's going to talk about how to run an e-commerce business with 5-hour work week. And as an entrepreneur, I'm running 2 businesses, but I'm only spending about, I would say, 10 to 20 hours per week to run my 2 businesses. And the majority part of it, because I delegate the stuff to the right people to have them work on it. And I can talk to them in the real time so I know what exactly is going on with my business. So if you're just starting out or you are scaling up, this is definitely the way you have to go. Just free up yourself more time, can do things that you like, you want, and then hire someone who's at a very reasonable price and have them work on that for you. And FreeeUp has been partnered out with Workweek, right? Yeah,
we partner with Workweek.
By the way, if you guys don't know who's Workweek, Workweek is I would say how do I describe them? It's a way if you want to sell on Amazon, like in other country, and they will have the currency exchange to save you money. So their clients love FreeeUp. They love the hiring process and all the service you provide. And also FreeeUp has also been featured on Huffington Post. So they have a really nice credential and history there, and it's really good about what they're doing now. So I'll hand the mic to Nathan.
Yeah, thank you. So let's first talk about what is that 5-hour work week mentality. It's all about valuing your time and getting your time back. When you think of that 5-hour work week, you can go about it a lot of different ways. Once you hire people, you put them in your systems, your processes. You can figure out what to do with that extra time. Maybe you want to focus on that business and drive it even farther and expand it better, and you want to focus on the sales and marketing, the expansion. Maybe you want to start a second business. I have 2 businesses. I know Ellen does too. Maybe you want to start that third and fourth. The only way you can do it is by getting out of the day-to-day operations of the business and by hiring help. Maybe you just want to spend more time with your family, your friends, and really have that official 5-hour work week mentality where you're making money but barely working and just living life at the fullest. Wherever you are, the answer is always hiring. There's very few entrepreneurs out there that create these big businesses with a solo operation and have a lot of success. It's just not that realistic. And it's something they don't teach you in school, but it's important no matter what industry you're in. Even if you're an employee, a lot of times if you want to move up in ranks, you have to be able to hire people and hire people effectively. So I want you to take a second, maybe close your eyes and be honest with yourself. Are you still handling repetitive and day-to-day operations inside your business? And I'm talking about emails, QuickBooks, filling orders, tracking. It could be listing products. Whatever you're doing in your e-commerce business, are you still doing it? And are you trapped in the day-to-day operations? How much time do you actually spend going outside, above and beyond, finding new revenue streams, new manufacturers, new partners, maybe even networking events, which is one of my favorite things to do to get new business? Are you able to do those things, or does the business not run when you're not there? So lastly, do you just wish you had more manpower? And that's what it's all about. With FreeeUp, it is very automated. It doesn't require that much manpower on the internal team, but to advertise, to market, to run social media, to do all these things we want to do, improve our software, we need more manpower. And being able to hire quickly and effectively, you're able to get that manpower. My internal team last week, and I'll answer the question that just came in a second, billed me over 500 hours last week. That means that even if I wanted to, I couldn't have done all that work myself in a week. It's impossible. I'm able to have a ton of manpower going into my business every day. How many people do you employ? On my Amazon business, we have 5 employees, and then the rest are remote contractors and outsourced. And it's about a team of 15 people right now. In FreeeUp, I have a 20-person internal team, all outsourced. There's no employees there. In the marketplace, there's over 700 plus freelancers ready to go. So those are freelancers you get access to. The website is freeup.com with 3 E's. So if you're totally overwhelmed right now and you're like, wow, I just had that epiphany that I have to hire, but I don't even know where to start, I just want to let you know that I was in that same position 7 years ago. When I started my first e-commerce business, I had no idea what I was doing. I was a 20-year-old student looking for extra beer money on the side that found out I was really good at selling baby products. So I'll say that again. I was a 20-year-old single guy selling baby products on Amazon, and business was booming. It was going great. And I was in college, I had finals and a girlfriend, and I was in a fraternity, and there was a lot going on. And the first busy season hit me, and I was swamped. I had no free time. It was the hardest 2 months of my life. And when I finally somehow survived it, I was like, I need to never let that happen again. And I started hiring. I made some incredible hires like my business partner, Connor. I made some poor hires that cost me a lot of time and money, but I got better and better at hiring. And once you get good at it, it becomes addicting. And I went from having no social life and really not being able to maintain a relationship, having to work nonstop, stuck inside my business, to opening a second company, getting free time back. I live in Orlando in a condo. I have financial freedom with my amazing girlfriend and my cute puppy that you might see if you follow me on Facebook. And it's just, when you hire effectively, the whole world of possibilities start up. So if I can do it, if I can get from the point where I have no idea what I'm doing to the point where I now have 2 teams working for me, even when I'm on this webinar, you can do it as well. And I'm going to show you some hacks to really help you do it inside your business. So I've sold over $25 million online with the help of hiring. I say this all the time. I could not have done it without the people that I put in position to succeed. And I really give them all the credit in the world. When you hire good people, they make you look good, they make you money, and they get you your time back. I don't know if you have anything to add, Ellen.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think my virtual assistant really, really saved my life. So I see a lot, some people asking me like how many people I have as employment. So for my coaching business, I teach people how to sell on eBay and Amazon. And for that business, I only have 2 employees. And I only work for 5 hours. Yeah, 5 hours of a week for my coaching business. They saved my life. Yeah.
That's awesome. So today, I want to get you to have that same aha moment where you're just like, okay, I can do this. And it really all starts with breaking it down into steps, because if you look at hiring as a whole, it's very overwhelming. There's so many good and bad things that can go on. You are taking a risk like every other part of being an entrepreneur. So I'm going to kind of dive into some hacks to really break it down for you and help you get into that 5-hour work week mentality, which is really that valuing your time at the highest possible level mentality. So hack number 1 is to create 2 lists. So I want you to write this down and actually do this tonight. The first list is everything you do on a day-to-day, week-to-week, month-to-month basis. And then you're going to take that list and order it from easiest to hardest, okay? And then you're going to circle the top 3 easiest things at the bottom of that list. And then you're going to star the one that you hate the most, the one that you don't like doing. For me, it's QuickBooks. I did QuickBooks for years. Just I would buy products from my vendors on my credit card at the end of every month. I would have to input it into QuickBooks one by one. It took me hours. I hated it. The business was stalling when I would do it because it wasn't expanding at all. That was my start. So you've got 3 things you want to take off your plate. Identify that important one. Remember, these are easy tasks that you can actually do this week. Now, the second list, and you should get your business partner involved if you have one, maybe your wife or your partner, or whatever it is what are your strengths and your weaknesses? And you want to be brutally honest here. You want to go in and put down, hey, I'm a good writer. I'm bad at problem solving, or I'm bad at bookkeeping, or whatever it is. Write down on that list your strengths and your weaknesses. With your weaknesses, this is where you're going to hire experts or specialists, people who are way better at doing these things than you are. So if you turn the weaknesses into your strengths inside your business, you're going to have a lot of success. Too many businesses fail because they have that one thing that they're not good at, and they never address it because everyone hates doing it, and they haven't hired, or they just keep hiring similar people to them that have the same weaknesses. One of the best things that Connor, my business partner, and I did was we had a back and forth saying, hey, you're good at this, you're bad at this. And we wrote everything down, and we figured out where we complement each other well. And at the end of it, we had this big list of things that we were both bad at. And we just started hiring people for those things. And that is how we've had a lot of success. So we'll start with that repetitive and mundane task, the easy stuff. That's really what we're going to start with.
I have something to add.
Yeah.
So for e-commerce, the number one task that we should delegate to other people would be customer service. Yeah. But you have to have the complete training to teach your VA what exactly to say at the beginning. You have to spend time with them to teach them how should they respond and react. And this service FreeeUp, what Nathan is doing is not only limited to e-commerce. It could be anything, right?
Yeah, anything.
Yeah. No matter if you're insurance agent or you're a realtor, you need someone to do your paperwork or anything that's in computer. We always need someone to help.
Absolutely. I mean, outsourcing can spread across anything, and we have lots of U.S. people on the marketplace too that are top experts, whether it's content or marketing or Amazon PPC. It could be anything, both inside and outside e-commerce. So you get access to these very talented freelancers.
Can you say a list of that talent people that you have on your service? Is it you mentioned they write blogs, they do QuickBooks, they do customer service. What else do they do?
Yeah, so I can't name everything, but we do web development, we do writing, we have graphic designers, we have lower level, mid-level, and expert level workers in all kind of e-commerce work, whether you're selling on Walmart or Amazon or eBay. We've got people that are running campaigns, whether it's PPC or Facebook, Amazon PPC or Facebook ads or Google AdWords. We have people that are doing maybe outside the box stuff you don't think about, like just taking product photos or making videos for your products. We've got the accountants, the bookkeepers. We've got I'm missing a bunch of stuff. If you go to FreeeUp.com and click pricing at the top, you can see a great breakdown of everything we offer, all the skill sets with different ballpark pricing for U.S. and non-U.S. workers. Keep in mind, we're a marketplace, so the workers set their own rates, but the ballparks are pretty close to accurate.
What is the price point? Can you give us like the average price point?
Yeah, so it really depends if you're looking for the lower level, the mid-level, or the expert level workers. So the low-level workers, they're doers. They have years of experience because we're not a marketplace for newbies, but they're there to follow the systems and processes of the client. So those are the non-US workers. They're $5 to $10 an hour in that range. Could be more if you want someone with a lot of experience, but that's a pretty good ballpark. Then you've got the mid-level people. Those are the specialists. You're not hiring them to teach them anything. They're doing it their way. You're also not hiring them to consult with you. You're hiring them to do specific things that they're good at. It could be graphic design. It could be optimizing Amazon listings. It could be FBA reimbursements. Whatever it is, that's when you hire those mid-level people in the 10 to 30 range, depending on US or non-US. Then you've got those experts, so 25 and up. I mean, we have experts that cost more than $50 an hour, but 25 to $50 an hour is a good ballpark. Those are your consultants, your project managers, the people that can create the systems and processes for you and help you do that. You can use them for a consultation twice a week or once a month. You can use them to execute long-term game plans, maybe run your PPC campaigns from start to finish. And some of them even have their own teams made up of those mid and lower level workers, so you get even more manpower. So the pricing really just depends on what you're looking for. You can't go into it like, hey, I have no idea how to run Amazon ad. Let's hire a lower level worker to do it. It doesn't work like that.
Exactly.
Cool. Let's kind of jump into hack number 2. Feel free to post any questions if you have them. So you've kind of identified what you want to outsource, what you want to take off your list, what you want to give to remote workers. Next is figuring out what your perfect worker looks like. And I promise you, if you don't know what that looks like, we're not going to know what it looks like. So inside your FreeeUp account, which is free to sign up, you click request a worker and it asks you a bunch of questions. And some of those questions are, what kind of availability do you need? Do you need them on weekends? Do you need them once a week, 10 hours a week, 30 hours a week, whatever it is? What kind of availability do you actually need? Keep in mind, freelancers are our first come, first serve. They have other clients. They're really their own business. So knowing your availability up front is going to help get you exactly what you want. The last thing you want to do is say, hey, I need someone for 2 hours a week, and then find out that you actually need them for 10 to 15, and by then they're working for another client. So availability is huge. Skill set is incredibly important too. What kind of background, what kind of experience do you want them to have? There's a time and a place for a 5 out of 10 worker. There's a time and a place for a 10 out of 10 worker. So really figuring out what kind of skill set you have or you need. Price point. The last thing you want to do is invest your time, your energy into someone only to realize 2 weeks later that you can't afford them. So really figuring out what it is. If it's a one-time project, like a graphic design, like a blog post, what is your budget? So you know what going in, what you can afford. Because especially when it comes to writers, you can go into, and don't worry, I will answer that question in a second. You can have writers that cost 50 plus an hour. You can have writers that cost $5 an hour and everything in between. And really figure that out, what your budget is. And what kind of attitude, what kind of people do you like working with is incredibly important. And we kind of mentioned work experience already. So the person said, how can you believe you? Listen, I've had plenty of bad hiring experiences before. I built FreeeUp based on my own bad hiring experiences. It's tough for me to comment on other marketplaces. Listen, Upwork is a lot bigger than FreeeUp. Onlinejobs.ph is a lot bigger than FreeeUp. There are some very talented workers there. Now, with us, I base this on my 8+ years of hiring. Everything that I love and hate about those other marketplaces, I took into FreeeUp and made it my own. So with FreeeUp, we get hundreds of applicants every week. We vet them for skill, attitude, and communication, which we will talk about in a second. And we only let 1% in, and we make them available to you. So you are using workers at your own risk, but we're helping you get the best of the best. And on top of that, while we can provide you with that worker, that's only step one. A lot of times the bad experience goes both ways. There's more you can do on the client side. So we want to educate you. We have lots of content. We're there to help. We're there to assist. We have your back to help you have that best experience. So like I said, it's free to sign up. You can submit a request, meet a worker. If you like them, great. If not, you're under no obligation to hire them.
Right. So do you have any more tips, and can I ask questions?
Definitely ask questions.
What I think one of the biggest struggle is our own hiring process. How do I interview those people to determine if this one is suitable for us?
Yeah, so that goes into what my next hack was, is interviewing. And no, in my opinion, everyone interviews incorrectly. They're looking for those great interview questions, those great answers that people give. I once took a college class on how to interview. It didn't teach me how to do anything well besides answer interview questions. And other people have gone through trainings. They've been through lots of interviews. What interviews are about are red flags. That's what you should be trying to do. When you are interviewing someone, when they start with you on day 1, week 2, whatever it is, before you invest a lot of time and energy into them, you're looking for those red flags. Now, based on my experience, I've broken down workers into 3 things: skill, attitude, and communication. I have never talked to a client who's like, wow, this person was really talented on the skill side. They could do everything they said. Their attitude was great. They were positive. They were passionate about what they were doing. They communicated at a high level, but it didn't work out. I fired them. I wasted my time and money. It usually doesn't happen like that. When you get people that have all 3, the skill, the attitude, and the communication, that's when you have a good hiring experience. It's when you only focus on 1 out of 3 or 2 out of 3 that you waste a lot of time and money. Too many people, they say, hey, I need a Facebook ad expert. They meet someone with 5 years of experience, that's worked at some top agencies, they have references, they have the skill, but they don't focus, they don't ask any attitude questions or communication questions. And then they have a bad experience and they wonder why, because they hired a talented person and then they're scared from hiring again. I encourage you to look for attitude and communication in addition to skill. And with attitude, the best way I can put it, I keep saying that I hate QuickBooks. When I hire someone to do my QuickBooks, they have to love QuickBooks as much as I love being an entrepreneur. That's what attitude's about. They need to have a smile on their face every day and not have that constant up and down roller coaster, because you get enough of that as an entrepreneur. And with communication, yes, they have to speak your language at the same level, but that's not really what I'm talking about. They have to be able to give estimates and hit deadlines and keep you updated on projects and respond within a reasonable amount of time. And the last thing you want to do is chase someone across the Philippines or across the world. If their house is on fire, if they have a family emergency, you at least get a text message. And we have 10 pages of communication best practices that workers have to memorize and get tested on, because it is the key to hiring remotely. When you hire someone to sit right next to you, communication is really important. When you hire someone on the other side of the world, communication is up here, top highest priority.
Right, communication is always the main element when you're hiring someone. So just don't just hire someone and just ignore them for like a month or so. You have to keep like talking to them to get the update for the project status.
Absolutely. And like you said, communication goes both ways. I like to over communicate with people that I work with freelancers that I work with. I give them more information than they need just to make sure that they don't miss anything, that there's no gray areas, because gray areas kill you as a business owner. When you get far into a project and you weren't on the same page, you want to make sure you establish everything on front. Communication is key. So look for those red flags. What kind of things are they telling you? What kind of signs are they giving you that shows you that they might not have the attitude that you need, that they might have poor communication, that might be an issue down the line? When you look for those red flags and you avoid people with the red flags, you have much better hiring success rate. And that's really what that's all about.
Awesome. And also, I remember Ty Lopez told us that the hiring process should be hire slowly, fire quickly. What do you think about that?
Yeah, but I agree with that. My whole thing is about investment. I look at hiring as an investment. If I'm putting my money, my time, maybe my team's time into someone, and I see those red flags before I've invested a lot of time, I'm moving on fast, because I want to protect my investment. I'm only investing in things that I know are going to be safe down the line. Now, if I've already invested a lot of time and energy into someone, I'm a little slower to fire them. I have some techniques for that as well. I'll start to slowly, first of all, I'll talk to them, and I always give people a chance to address it. And a lot of people skip that step. They don't give people honest feedback. So a VA might have 5 different clients that all have different expectations. And if you don't actually tell them what yours are and what your feedback is, you're not really being fair to them. They're just doing what they know. But let's say you do invest time into someone, they were doing really well, all of a sudden they're not, they go downhill, and you talk to them and that doesn't seem to help. You slowly start taking things off their plate. Hire another VA slowly. And one of two things is going to happen. One, they're going to realize that they're losing some of their responsibility and they're going to turn it around and you're going to get that person back, which happens more than you might think. Or two, eventually you've slowly taken everything off their plate and then you don't really have an investment in them anymore and you can let them go and move on to someone else. So there are a lot of creative ways. We talk a lot about this on the FreeeUp blog, how to get the most out of people, how to handle issues that come up. There's the right way to do it. And the right way not to do it, or the wrong way to do it, is to yell at the VA, to get pissed off, to never hire again because you had that bad experience. You got to focus on the systems, focus on the processes, focus on improving going forward.
Awesome. That was a great tip.
Thank you. And this is my hack number 4, and it's outline your expectations. So expectations are so important when you're dealing with someone. Even before we got on this Facebook Live, we were just talking about what it's going to be. I've had webinars and podcasts before where they're like, hey, make sure you don't say this, or let's make sure we touch upon this. And that's setting those expectations up front because they're not assuming anything. I've done who knows how many podcasts in the past 2 months. They're all different. How do I know what someone wants unless they tell me? And it's no different when you're hiring people. They've worked for other clients that all have different expectations. We have a free document called the Client Expectations Doc. You can use it regardless of whether you're a FreeeUp client. You can use it on your internal employees. You can use it on Upwork workers, whatever it is. You lay out your expectations. Who are the people on your team? Who are your business partner? Who do they go to for what? What passwords do they need? What are the goals? What are your pet peeves? What don't you like? What kind of communication style is important for you? Do you like Slack, Trello, daily updates, monthly updates? Set expectations up front. When you're doing a project, you're going to define a scope. What does it include? What does it not include? The biggest part of the scope that people mess up is getting those 2 important numbers. The first number is estimated hours. How long is it going to take? What the budget is. But keep in mind that 10 hours could mean 10 hours in a day. It could mean 10 hours over the course of a month. So you need that second number. The second number is the delivery date and time. Don't say next Tuesday. That could be by end of day. That could be Filipino time. Say Tuesday by 2 p.m. That's the deadline. That's the due date. 10 hours they estimate by Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern time. Get it in writing, document everything. I think I had, no, I changed it. Before there, I had document everything because that's how important it is. So make sure you set all those expectations up front with the scope and eliminate all possible gray areas. That's what you're trying to do. And with this document, when you hire someone, you hand them a piece of paper, they read it, they ask any questions, and boom, you've onboarded them, and it's time to get on the same page with the scope and move forward with the project.
Exactly. Document everything is a key that I didn't understand. And this is the same concept when you're hiring someone in person. It's always the same. You have to document everything.
It's so important. I mean, documentation could be your systems and processes over time. It could be conversations you have with people so that you can go back and be like, no, I said this. Or sometimes there'll be documentation where the client's wrong and just get it in writing. And then documentation could also be transferring responsibilities from one person to the other. My Facebook ads that we run for FreeeUp, I've gone through 3 people this year and they were all good, but I was just upgrading every time. And so we had documentation of everything that had been done up to that point. So when we transitioned to that new worker amicably, they handed everything over and it was way easier for that next person to get started, especially when you're dealing with developers and your website and stuff that you might not be an expert at. The last thing you want to do is be caught in between 2 experts where you don't know what you're doing and there was no documentation and that person maybe is trying to leave or do something else and they're not as committed. Get everything in writing so you can hand over all the data, all the information, all the reports.
Awesome.
Yeah, and then I'll leave you with one hack, and then I'm happy to answer any questions you have. Treat workers well. Treat everyone well, but workers are no different. Freelancers, remote workers, like I said, they're running their own business. They're self-employed. treat them like you would any other person in business. Show respect, be consistent. It's not like one day you come in yelling and the next day you're the nicest person in the world. It does matter. Turnover is expensive. Even if you don't care about the personal side of it, which I do, and being nice to people is great, the business side of it has real ramifications. If you talk down to people, if you're not consistent, if people don't like working with you, it's going to cost you more money down the line. And replacing people is expensive. It's not only your money, but it's your time that you don't get back. So keep people up to date on goals. Show them how they're a part of the company, how what they're doing is actually helping you. Tell people props when they do something well. You can still hold them accountable and give them respectful feedback when they don't. But there's really no situation to lash out at someone, or you never know who they know or how it could come back to bite you. End on good terms, even if you agree to disagree or you don't want to work with that person anymore. So that's my last hack, is just treat people with respect, no matter who they are, no matter how much they make, no matter what big or small part they have in your business.
Exactly. And just curious, do you give them like Christmas bonus?
Absolutely. I mean, bonuses are the best way to say you're grateful for something. I mean, we have clients, and I'll give the clients a lot of credit. When we started FreeeUp, we were like, listen, we're a marketplace for freelancers. I mean, we're not making you pay bonuses. We don't want, it's between you and the worker. And you'd be surprised how many of them did. And that's back when we were just kind of getting up and running. And every year it's gotten more and more. And I mean, if you can afford it, if your business is doing well, giving people bonus is great for retention. They're going to work harder for you. It's going to motivate them. You get the money back long term. It's just a good idea. I mean, if you're at the part where you really can't afford it and you're living paycheck to paycheck, yes, that's a little different. But if you have a good fourth quarter, if you have a good busy season, reinvesting back in people is a great way to do business.
Cool. Very, very nice tip. So do we have does anybody have any questions? Just feel free to leave in the comments and we'll answer your questions.
And if you're watching this later and you comment and you tag me in the question, I'm more than happy to answer it. You can also just go to freeup.com. My calendar's right there. You can book a time with me. I'm happy to talk to you and answer all questions that you have.
How long have you established this company? Just curious.
FreeeUp is a little over 2 years old.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, I mean, we're growing rapidly. There's really no fast hire solution out there. I mean, I've never heard of another marketplace that you can put in a request, have a pre-vetted worker introduced to you within a few hours, and have the customer support that we have. We also have a no turnover guarantee where if a worker quits in the middle of a project for any reason, we cover all replacement costs and get you a new worker right away. So I haven't heard of another company doing that.
Yeah, and I think, because I also hire like an on-site employee, I think hiring a virtual assistant is much, much easier than you hiring someone on site. Because I used to like post my the job listing on Indeed.com, but turns out even though there's tons of people applying for the job, but I don't see them, like any of them really qualify for the position. It's just turned out like wasting my time to do the interview with them. Yeah, so it's easier to have you guys have offer this service that already did pretty much the beginning interview process for us first, and then we don't have to spend the time to really filter like a bunch of applicants.
Exactly. I mean, when you hire locally, which there's a time and a place for, you're really limiting yourself to just the talent around you. Whereas if you hire remote, you get talent from all over the world. There's so much out there. People with diversity and different backgrounds and experiences that they can bring to the table. In addition, you're no longer just competing with all the businesses around you for that same exact talent, which make people go back and forth between jobs, increases pricing, limits the talent that's actually available open on the market, and it just becomes a very long process. I mean, the last thing you want to do is every time you need to get any project done to hire an internal employee, that can take a lot of time, effort, and money. There's a time and a place for employees, and there's a time and a place to hire remote contractors, outsource. And when you can do both effectively, like I do with my Amazon business, and a lot of my clients do, a lot of my clients have internal teams, sometimes really big internal teams, and they use freelancers to really support them. You can build really effective businesses.
Right. And also, if you hire like on-site people, you have to, if they're a full-time employee, you have to offer them like health insurance and all that. But if you hire a virtual assistant, you don't have to do that.
Yeah, again, there's a time and a place for everything. I mean, I have some clients that they have a warehouse, so they need internal employees. Hiring remote is not an option. And really building your team, especially if you're a startup, getting a few hours in your day back. If you hire someone to take one thing off your plate, get someone to clear out your emails in the morning. I have someone from 3 to 5 a.m. answers the hundreds of emails I get every morning and leaves the 5 or 10 that I should respond to. So when I wake up, I get a head start to every single day. Imagine what you could do just getting those hours back. And as you do it, it's addictive. You want to do it more and more and more, and that's how you eventually get to that 5-hour work week mentality.
Awesome. Okay, dude, I guess we don't have any questions. I don't see anyone type in any comments. Any last thought on this?
Yeah, well, I really appreciate you having me. FreeeUp is there to help. We want to make sure everyone is prepared for the busy season. Definitely check out freeup.com with 3 E's. Check out the FreeeUp blog. And yeah, happy fourth quarter.
Yeah, let me just type in FreeeUp in the, hold on, let me see, how do I do this? Okay, here you go. So if anyone's interested in hiring a virtual assistant to help your business to grow dramatically, this is where you need to go, freeup.com with 3 E's in there. So if there's no question, we're going to close the session today.
Sounds good. Have a good rest of the day.
Awesome. Thank you, Nathan.
Thank you.
All right, bye.